Hello, class. I'm Matt Bandeski,
And I'm Nicole Kakowski.
and we have a great presentation for you today.
Today we will be talking about Herzberg's theory, emotions versus moods, personality, motivation, leadership, and bases of power.
First, we will talk about Herzberg's two-factor theory regarding job satisfaction. As the name suggests, Friedrich Herzberg believed that there are two different components that factor into an employee's level of satisfaction with his or her work. Firstly, hygiene factors actually affect a worker's level of dissatisfaction rather than satisfaction. Hygiene factors will keep an employee from being dissatisfied with his or her job, but they will not contribute to a worker being satisfied with the work. According to Herzberg, hygiene factors alone can only bring a worker to a neutral state with the work. Normally, these factors tend to be more extrinsic in nature. Some examples of hygiene factors could be minor company policies, working conditions, and even salary. The other factor in this theory, motivation factors, have more of an effect on the level of positive satisfaction with work. These factors will move an employee from a neutral state of contentment to a level of actual satisfaction with their work. Motivational factors are more intrinsic, such as how the employee feels about the type of work he or she is doing, the possibility for advancement in his or her career, or the amount of recognition an employee receives for his work. Next, we will talk about moods and emotions and the differences between them. Emotions are much more of a short-term feeling caused by a specific event. These feelings can last anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes. They are very specific and defined, such as happiness, anger, sadness, or fear. Usually they are accompanied by a distinct facial expression, such as a smile or a frown. Emotions also tend to be action-oriented, meaning they have much more of an effect on the person changing his actions based on what he is feeling. Moods, on the other hand, last much longer. They can range anywhere from several hours to a few days. Unlike emotions, moods are much more vague and less defined. They are typically only described as positive or negative, and the root cause of a mood can often be unclear. Finally, moods are more cognitive in nature, meaning they affect more of how a person thinks than how he acts directly.
Next, we will talk about personality and values and the Big Five personality model. The 5 dimensions that make up this model are extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, emotional stability, and openness to new experience. Extroversion is comfort with social situations. Agreeableness is the degree to which a person cooperates with others. Conscientiousness is how responsible and dependable a person is. Emotional stability is a person's ability to withstand stress. And openness to new experiences is the range of a person's interests. There are many relationships between these dimensions and job performance and job satisfaction. For example, emotional stability is closely related to low stress cycles and satisfaction. Generally, happy people score high on extroversion, and creative people usually score high on openness. Now we will talk about motivation and expectancy theory. Expectancy theory states an individual will act in a certain way based on what they expect the result from that behavior will be and the attractiveness of that result to the individual. Expectancy theory links rewards directly to performance and explains why workers are only motivated to do the bare minimum to get by at times. There are 3 relationships associated with it. The first is effort performance, which is the probability perceived by an individual that exerting a given amount of effort will lead to a certain level of performance. The next relationship is performance reward, which is the degree to which the individual believes performing at a particular level will lead to the attainment of a desired outcome. The last relationship is rewards and personal goals, which is the degree to which an organizational rewards satisfy an individual's personal goals or needs and the attractiveness of those potential rewards for the individual. Now we will talk about transformational leadership. Transformational leaders are leaders that inspire their followers and have a great and positive impact on the organization. They provide a mission and purpose for their followers. They put high expectations on their employees. They promote intelligence and problem solving. They act like coaches or advisors and treat each employee individually. And they gain the trust of their employees, which lowers stress levels.
Finally, we will talk about the 5 bases of power. The 5 bases are separated into 2 categories, formal and personal. We will talk about the formal powers first. Legitimate power is the power a person appointed to a position has over his subordinates. An example of this can be seen in the military between officer and enlisted personnel, or a boss with his employees. Coercive power is the power a person imposes on another when he threatens a negative consequence if another person does not listen to him. This can be seen in parenting, when a dad threatens to take away a child's Xbox if the child doesn't clean his room. Reward power is the opposite of coercive power. With reward power, a person influences others with the promise of some sort of incentive, such as a parent giving a child dessert after the child eats all of his dinner. Expert power is the first of the 2 personal powers. With expert power, a person has influence over others because of his knowledge or experience in a certain area, such as a technical support representative has with a customer with a computer that is not working. In this instance, the tech has more knowledge and can therefore advise and influence what the consumer does. Finally, reference power comes from the charisma a person naturally has and how he uses it to influence others. Trust and respect play key roles in how much reference power a person has over another. Car salesmen typically need a lot of reference power, especially if they are lacking expert power. In conclusion, we talked about Herzberg's 2-factor theory of job satisfaction, the difference between emotions and moods, personality, motivation, leadership, and the 5 bases of power.
After taking the course, these are the questions we still have. What is the difference between a leader and a manager? What constitutes a good leader? And is emotional intelligence real?